this guy, if he wants to be with me, why am I paying for this? It's not, but then I have friends of mine that look at me like I'm crazy.
But is this a big deal to you? Like, is it not a big deal to you right now? Because it's fun and it's flirty and it's dating. What about, like, if you guys progress to being into a serious, committed relationship where now you live together? Mm-hmm. You're going to be okay with, like, you're gonna keep that same energy. Like, we went 50-50 on dates. So when we move in together, you got 50 of these bills. Like, you're okay with that.
Financially, I'm okay with it. It's just, here's the thing. What I get confused by when it comes to my friends is because they know that I take care of my mother and my father. Mm-hmm. So that's a financial additive that I have. That's a responsibility to me. And that's nobody's responsibility but mine. Own, right? And I would never expect the man to come into my life and take care of that, you know? Would I still be able to go 50-50? Yes, I would. The question, I guess, is, it's basically society. Like, society will look and be like, this is completely wrong. A man needs to be providing for her, especially if she's taking care of her mom and her dad. The man should be adding stuff.
But it's confusing. What do you think, though? Because it's like, what do you think? Like, it sounds like you're okay with maybe splitting
I definitely feel like you're okay with splitting 50-50 and you're just concerned about society.
I'm concerned about the guy not feeling like a guy, because I don't want, like, the whole conversation we were just having earlier today on how men will then feel belittled or feel like they don't have their purpose or their place.
If you're splitting 50-50 with them?
Yeah. Well, if your person feels like he's going to feel less than if he's not providing, then you let him provide. Why would there be no
if he feels comfortable with letting you split 50-50 on dates, he's going to be comfortable with letting you split that rent 50-50. Like, it's like, pay for this $400 dinner or pay for this $4,000 rent. Like, at the end of the day, if he's comfortable with you doing that, he's going to be comfortable with you doing it. The question is, are you comfortable with it? Are you okay with it? And I think that's just what it is. Like, what works for people works for people. Like, it might be two people who come together who say, like, we don't care about gender roles. It's just kind of like, this is what the expenses are. We're going to bust that down the middle. We're going to go about our business. There might be a woman who's like, yeah, no, I don't do that. There might be a man that be like, you know, I don't do that. Right. So I think it's just about, like, who you connect with. Like, what are your preferences? And you seek people who have those same preferences, then you won't have those problems. But it sounded like you were okay with splitting, like, dinner and, like, an activity. But when it came to now we live together and we got to pay this rent, you're like,
For sure. I just feel like after this conversation has come up so much, I just feel like there's no, like, one way to do things.
That's why I say you do things like, how it works for you. Like, what might be right for me and what might be comfortable for me may not be the same for you. And that's okay. It's like, are you happy with the, you know, arrangement you have? Then good. More power to you. But I might not be okay with that. I'm going to do with... You know, I'm going to do what I'm comfortable with. Like, what your preferences are might not be my preferences. That doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong. It just means, like, date people who have the same thoughts and ideas as you. It's really that simple. It's really that damn simple.
Because it was interesting, because I remember early on you said, you know, if you're courting me, I expect you to pay for, because you're asking me for my time. Yeah, but if we're in a relationship and it's 50-50, then that transition I'm totally okay with. Mm-hmm. In this situation, we're not in a relationship, so the thing that, like, the argument of my friends are like, you're doing the dating, the courtship wrong.
Yeah, you want to know if you're tripping for, like, doing the 50-50 at this stage?
Like, they're like, why are you paying? Like, they're interested in you and they want to take you out. They asked you to come to this fancy thing. You would have been completely fine going to your cafe hole in a wall.
And now you just spent $200 because he said, babe, come meet me.
He invited me. I'll be like, all right, so, you know, he invited me to go out to this, to have lunch at this rooftop in Manhattan, and it was really cool. And, you know, and then who paid, you know, asked me who paid the bill. I'm like, well, I paid for mine and he paid for his. What's your raw opinion?
Listen, I'm going to enjoy the experience for what it was. You invited me. You're trying to
No, as my friend. Like, as someone.
Oh, I'm like, girl, you out your damn mind. Like, what the hell?
You see,
and it doesn't even have to do with, like, you're broke and you can't do it. Because at the end of the day, like, if I was ever on a date, I've never been on a date where a man has ever asked me to go 50-50. But if I ever were on a date where that happened, you know what? Okay, I'm going to pay 50-50 because I can. But I'm good.
Like, I didn't ask to go.
I'm good. Like,
so that's your
you invited me out. You're trying to court me. You're trying to pursue me. So I just feel like putting all that effort in and then being like, hey, girl, you know what I'm saying, I need half. It's going to be like, okay, you got it. I'm going to give it to you, but you ain't going to get shit else from me.
Okay, so
Honestly, that's my perspective always. But I feel like as your friend, I have to know your relationship. Because me talking to you all night, I know that you've been in this courtship for a couple of months now. It's like, well, has he got you?
where's it going?
It kind of seems like he's got you. You guys are exclusive. I feel like the courting is done. Like
The courting is done when
how
we decide to
long-
be in a relationship together. And I think that changes everything, right? Like if we're dating, we're just having fun. Like if I'm dating you, I don't have any obligations to you. Like, of course there has to be like a certain level of respect.
I feel
and
like
that just comes with like
I feel like there's a
anything, right?
difference in like courting to like trying to get her and actually have gotten her and just like casually dating. Because if you guys are now in the stage where you guys are just casually dating, I don't feel like there's any need for him to be paying all of the, restaurant bills now. You know,
But I think that's what comes with like making those establishments, like have those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
How do you
works for
start a
might
like,
not
how do you
work for
start
me.
a conversation about who's going to be paying for
How do
what
you start
now?
a conversation?
That's, I mean, it's never
like,
been a
okay,
conversation.
so-
I'm like, I've never had to have that conversation. I don't know how to answer that, but
Wait, what has your experience been like?
nobody is. I mean, personally, no man has ever asked me to split anything with them. I've never had that experience.
Do you think it's because of you've set such a tone that like I'm not gonna do that, and so you're attracting that? Like me, I'm okay with that, so I've obviously attracted that. So obviously that may be where.
No, because I don't think I set that tone, right? Because like I said, to me, it's not like I have a problem splitting something with a man. Like if I'm dating you, we're in like a committed exclusive relationship. It's like you still have to pay for anything. No, I'm just saying like I've never had that experience where a man has said, hey, listen, I need half. I've never experienced that.